One of my all-time favorite traditions is waking up on a bright Saturday morning, having a nice bowl of cereal, and watching cartoons. Yeah! Kirby right back at ya, Ninja Turtles, Pokemon, and One Piece.
The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
Oof, no, not that one. But there was always one show in particular that I was always excited to see. A show that I would always wake up at 7 in the morning just to watch it. And I'm of course talking about Sonic X. Sonic X is a Japanese anime TV series that was eventually brought over to America, dubbed and localized all the way back in 2003. The series follows Sonic the Hedgehog and his friends having many crazy adventures here on Earth after getting transported from their home planet. The show was picked up by a little company called 4Kids, who don't exactly have the best reputation.
First, get your ass up here! I wanna fight where I can breathe!
Come on up, you big blowfish. We'll settle this on my toys.
They're infamously known for adapting beloved animes and butchering them like crazy. Bad voice acting, cut content, terrible dialogue. However, Sonic X was surprisingly different, taking all of those negative 4Kids tropes and kicking them to the curb. But enough chit-chat. Let's talk about some Sonic X. We start off the series with Sonic squaring off with Eggman, attempting to destroy his base and retrieve the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Classic. It's a pretty fun and action-packed scene. It honestly sets the tone for the duration of the series. Robots, explosions, Sonic running fast, and of course, being a smartass while doing so.
All I have to do is to push this little button.
Yeah, if you can push it before I grab it.
During this battle, one of Eggman's robots accidentally shoots a machine holding the Chaos Emeralds. This activates the Chaos Control Technique and teleports all of our beloved Sonic characters to Earth, along with a few I don't even really know who you are characters. And then the intro starts. Oh my, this intro theme song has become quite the meme in recent years. Which is a shame, because I really love this song. It's so catchy. I don't care what anyone says. It's got a really upbeat rock sound to it. It tells you the plot of the entire show. And I can promise you, you'll definitely be singing it in your head hours after hearing it. Jumping back to the show, we see that Sonic is now on Earth, waking up from a daze, being completely confused as to where he is, almost getting hit by multiple cars, being mystified with the tall, bright buildings. He's definitely not in Kansas anymore. Or Sonic World, whatever, you get the joke. The rest of this episode is just a huge chase scene of the police attempting to capture Sonic. And that goes as well as you would expect for them. Nothing of importance really happens for a while. Until the end of the episode, Sonic eventually runs into a family's backyard and falls into their pool. This wakes the young boy who lives there, who then goes out to investigate, curious as to what the heck could be going on at this hour. Meanwhile, Sonic isn't doing so good underwater. Hey, Sonic, I don't think that's the best strategy to help you out. The young boy then saves Sonic from drowning, and immediately, the two then seemingly become friends, thus ending the first episode. This is a really solid first episode. It establishes everything the viewer needs to know about the series in a very entertaining and coherent manner, without dragging anything out. The Sonic and Eggman fight at the beginning was action-packed and exciting. It was the first thing we see in the episode, and it immediately grabs your attention. Before you know it, boom! We're here on Earth, getting acclimated with Sonic and everyone else, trying to figure out this weird planet they've landed on. And right as the episode ends, we're left with a cliffhanger of Sonic and this random boy. Perfect first episode! Speaking of this child, we learn a lot more about who he is in the next episode. His name is Chris Thorndike, a young boy with very rich parents. However, like many rich parents, they're very neglectful towards their son, leaving Chris with the servants most of the time. Because of this, Chris is very lonely, not having any friends, and his family hardly ever being there. He seemingly has all the money in the world. He has almost anything a person could ever ask for. Except the one thing that money can't buy: companionship. After learning all of this, Chris of course becomes a very important character, helping out Sonic and the gang whenever he can. The rest of the show plays out like your traditional anime. Each season has one main overarching plot. For the first season, it's of course stop Eggman from being evil, while of course trying to find a way to get back home. But there's also the specific character focus episodes, like with Knuckles, Tails, Shadow, etc. Then there's the backstory episodes, like maybe we'll learn more about Chris, for example. Then there's the villain dedicated episodes, where we learn what they're doing when they're not causing mischief. All of that good stuff. The voice acting in this show is definitely a mixed bag. Some of the characters sound pretty good, like Sonic for example, voiced by Jason Griffith, who's basically the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog in my opinion.
Well, I kinda got into this fight out in space, and the bad guy was gonna take him from me, so I sent him away. Now I'll show you!
He's been doing the voice ever since 2003 all the way to 2010. It's the most recognizable in my opinion. But then there's also Chris, who...
The website I went to said most hedgehogs love cat food. I guess that doesn't go for all hedgehogs. I can get you a bowl of crickets.
Yeah, it's not super great. But it actually isn't too much of a big deal, because the storytelling and dialogue is really good. Don't get me wrong, it isn't a masterpiece or anything, but it is a welcome change of pace. I don't know how to explain it exactly. The series wasn't mature, but it definitely has a nice layer of depth to it all that you wouldn't find in most Saturday morning cartoons.
I'll be seeing you, Chris!
Goodbye, Sonic.
Sonic X had a little bit of everything for everyone. There was action, comedy, mystery, and even a little bit of romance. Hopefully this video has at least piqued your interest in checking it out. Or if you've already seen it, maybe you'll want to go back and rewatch some episodes. Because nothing beats Saturday morning cartoons and a nice cold bowl of cereal. It'll definitely make you feel like you're 10 years old again. See ya! The Mario timeline is one of the most confusing things I've ever seen. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as the Zelda timeline, but still, there's a lot to try and put together. It's so huge, in fact, that I couldn't possibly even try to figure it all out in a serious manner. However, I still want to give it a go, but with a very less serious and more fun and possibly crazy twist. So I think it's time we put it all together, bring it into the spotlight, and reveal a possible alternate timeline within the Mario universe. So that means no getting upset when things get a little too crazy. The first game in this unofficial waffle timeline is Super Mario Bros. 1. Mario is just your everyday plumber and stumbles upon the Mushroom Kingdom. Realizing that everyone's in danger, Mario takes action. He then stops the villain, rescues the princess, and saves the day, becoming a hero in the process. Pretty basic stuff so far. The next game in this timeline is Super Mario Bros. 2, where, remember, the entire game was just a dream. This is because after Mario's first journey in the Mushroom Kingdom, he now returns home, constantly thinking and dreaming about adventures. He can't get them out of his head. So eventually, Mario decides to share his dreams with as many people as possible, turning his life and adventures into a stage play. As you can probably guess, this is where Super Mario Bros. 3 comes in. The play becomes an instant hit. It's very successful and loved by many. So, following the success of Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario now decides to shoot for the stars and go big, making a movie based on his adventures. Out comes Super Mario 64. If you want to learn more in depth on why Mario 64 is a movie, I made an entire video on that you can check out here if you want. But to quickly give a few examples, there's a cameraman following you around, the entire castle is a movie studio, and each painting represents different sets that'll be used. Even Bowser himself, hobbling around, being super slow and sluggish. It kinda reminds you of old Godzilla movies, with a guy in a rubber suit. But getting back on track, the movie, of course, becomes a hit, earning Mario millions of dollars. With his newfound riches and success, Mario then quits his job as a plumber and focuses on his brand new Mario franchise. Yeah, Mario now starts profiting off of the Mario name. Now we have Millionaire Mario, where he's now able to afford to travel to other exotic islands, like Delfino Isle and Dinosaur Island, where he now not only has expensive vacation homes, but films his new Mario TV series, aka Super Mario World and Super Mario Sunshine. To make sure that the ratings stayed good, they introduced a cute new animal creature, Yoshi. They also made Bowser a little more eccentric. Every TV show needs an eccentric and wacky villain. Equipping Bowser with a very flashy castle, that weird clown car, and even having the final battle while he's just chilling in a jacuzzi. He's much more wacky than the villainous Bowser that Mario actually took on. During this height of Mario's success, he was also writing books on the side, aka Yoshi's Island and the Paper Mario series, since both game series are told in a storybook-like manner. Yoshi's Island is more of a children's book, with its simple plot and bright colors, and Paper Mario was more of a big novel, with a more complex plot, heavy dialogue, and actual character development. So at this point, Mario is basically a millionaire, or heck, even possibly a billionaire, having successful plays, movies, TV shows, and books. This is where all of Mario's side games fall in the timeline. He literally has so much money that he can spend all day just throwing parties, going go-kart racing, and even playing freaking golf, a sport that only rich people play. So right now, Mario's life seems to be in a really good place. He's super successful and making a ton of money. But the next game landing on the timeline is Super Mario Galaxy. Here's where things start to heat up, because this game marks the return of Bowser. The real Bowser, the one that hasn't made an appearance since the original Mario Bros. Bowser realizes that since he's been gone, Mario has been making a fool of him. So now, Bowser starts to exact his revenge onto Mario and the entire universe that mocked him. Rosalina then summons Mario, and now, for the first time in a long time, Mario has to stop Bowser and save the world. Nay, the universe. For real. It's all come full circle. Same thing goes for Super Mario Galaxy 2. Mario has to take out Bowser for real. This time, though, he hopes that Bowser will be gone for good. But then, the Mario CDI game came out, and it was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
That didn't help at all.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So, yeah, that's about as far as I could get with this stupid timeline. It was honestly just a jumbled train of thought that didn't really have a destination. But maybe you can be the one to finish this stupid, idiotic waffle timeline. So, I hope you had fun regardless. So, until next time. Which kinda sucks. I mean, she is the Princess of Hyrule after all, and with all of the different universes and timelines that exist in these games, not all Zeldas were created equally, and that's what we're looking at today. Which Princess Zelda is best fitted to be ruling the land of Hyrule? Here's who we're going to take a look at. The princess from the original Legend of Zelda, the princess from A Link to the Past, the Ocarina of Time princess, the Twilight Princess, Zelda from Wind Waker, and Zelda from Skyward Sword. And you know what? Let's look at the CDI Princess too. I know she isn't canon, but hey, she could be the best Zelda incarnation.
Guess again, Iron Knuckle.
So, with that being said, let's try and find out which Princess Zelda is the most superior, and should be ruling all of the Hyrules. The first thing we're going to take a look at is which Zelda is the most deadly. Now, I know being able to fight isn't exactly a necessity for a princess, but considering the type of place Hyrule is and Zelda's track record of being kidnapped, it probably wouldn't hurt to have a princess with at least some self-defense experience. The original Zelda 1 princess is kinda useless. She's gone. A Link to the Past's princess, while it is super cool that she can telepathically contact Link, she doesn't exactly do anything else than that. She's gone. And lastly, the Skyward Sword Zelda. Now, here she's actually going to the same Knight Academy as Link, so she should be a pretty competent swordsman. Unfortunately, none of that ability is actually shown, so she's also out. Now let's see who's left. The Ocarina of Time. The Zelda here isn't the most useful or special for the most part, but there's one thing that makes her stand out. Sheik. Sheik is Zelda's alter ego, supposedly a survivor of the Sheikah tribe. A tribe of ninjas! If you're a ninja, in my book, you're immediately awesome. Now, the Ocarina of Time isn't the best showcase of Sheik's abilities. However, the Super Smash Bros. Games and Hyrule Warriors show just how deadly Sheik really is. She's fast and nimble, definitely worthy of the title Ninja. Unfortunately, Sheik is just an alter ego. It's not exactly Zelda. She has to put a spell on herself to transform her appearance in order to give advice and make herself useful. She never really does those things under the alias of Zelda, which isn't exactly a good thing for a ruler of a kingdom to be doing. The Twilight Princess Zelda, however, is proof that Zelda herself can be a straight-up gangsta, or badass, whichever you prefer. She has a sword, which is cool. Aside from that though, during the final fight with Ganon, Zelda uses her divine power to summon the Light Spirits, who then bestow upon her the Holy Arrows of Light. The Light Arrows are pretty common for Zelda games. However, here, the princess is actually fighting off Ganon. Link finally doesn't have to do that alone. The Light Arrow is powerful as all hell. If Super Smash Bros. Is any indication of that thing's strength, it's guaranteed to knock you out. Guaranteed. 60% of the time, all of the time. Then we have the Wind Waker Zelda, or should I say Tetra. Tetra is another alter ego of the princess. She's an accomplished pirate captain who commands the respect of her crew. Since Tetra is a captain, she has her crew to do all of the dirty work and fighting. But hey, she's apparently good with the catapult, which doesn't do much good in a fight. However, there's a part in the game where you have to steal bombs, so it's safe to assume that Tetra is a pretty good bomb handler.
Bombs?
You saw that coming. And lastly, we have the stupid and inept Princess Zelda from the CDI series.
Link, go to Gamelon and find my father.
But wait. Look at her. She has a sword, she's competently swinging it around, she's attacking the enemies, and she has an entire arsenal of weapons to choose from. She even actually manages to kill off Ganon. I mean, yeah, it was insanely stupid how it all went down, but she still did it. And by herself, may I remind you. The Zelda with the best offense and defense would unfortunately have to be the CDI princess. But have no fear, because another big factor that needs to be taken into consideration are both the traits and the personalities of a princess. Here's what I mean by that. You definitely want a princess that's effective and knows what she's doing, but you also want a ruler that's likable. No matter how effective a ruler is at their job, if they're the most unlikable person in the world, you'll have assassins left and right waiting on your front door, and that's probably not a good thing. So let's first take a look at the winner of the last round, the CDI Zelda. Does she have the qualities and personality of a great princess?
You've killed me!
Good.
No! Oh God, no! Gosh, she's an idiot! Moving on, a lot of the main Princess Zeldas weren't given much of a personality, or character traits, or even depth. They were kept pretty simple since Princess Zelda herself was a side character for the most part. This includes princesses from the original NES game, A Link to the Past, and the Ocarina of Time. They were all, for the most part, not very interesting. Moving on though, we again have the Wind Waker Zelda, or Tetra, whatever you prefer. Tetra is a natural-born leader. She was born into the life of a pirate. This means that she's very headstrong about a lot of things. She takes challenges head-on. Unfortunately, she likes to act very much on impulse, not exactly thinking things all the way through. If it sounds like a good plan at first, just go with it. We'll worry about the consequences later. And with innocent lives at stake, impulsive isn't the best route to be taking. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, we have the Skyward Sword Zelda. This Zelda is so loving and caring, it's kinda hard to believe that she's actually a Princess Zelda. If you ever wanted Link and Zelda to hook up, then this game will definitely have your fix. I mean, I really don't know what else to say. She's straight up fun. But I guess ruling Hyrule can't be all fun and games, unfortunately. So, that leaves us with the Twilight Princess. Does she have the makings of a true ruler? Well, let's see. This Zelda comes off as very focused and driven by whatever mission she is given. She comes off as very serious, never rude or anything, just focused and driven to save the land. There's even a part in the game where Midna is dying, and Zelda sacrifices her physical being in order to save her. A self-sacrificing princess, doing whatever she can to make sure that the land will remain in good hands. Man, that's a lot of information to take in. But with all of that being said, it's time to find out which Princess Zelda is the strongest and best fitted to be ruling Hyrule. It's definitely a close call, but the winner is Zelda from Twilight Princess. Her attitude and motives are so direct and to the point. She tries not to let emotion get in the way of the greater good of the kingdom. She even sacrifices her own life in order to save another. Some people might look at that as being reckless. Well, Zelda's gone, so now there isn't really much of a princess to rule the kingdom. But Zelda realizes that if Link and Midna can't do their part, there won't be any kingdom left for a princess to rule. No matter how you look at it, the Twilight Princess Zelda is the best rounded Zelda the series has ever seen. All of the Zeldas, including the CDI one, has a special place in all of our hearts. So, with that being said, let me know your favorite Zelda, if you have one. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you gorgeous people next time. So, hey, that was my video on Zelda. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Links are in the description. Also, if you found joy in the video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. I think that's everything. Take care now. The Amazing World of Gumball. It's one of Cartoon Network's most popular shows, and, in my opinion, one of the most visually spectacular cartoons ever made, utilizing everything from traditional 2D animation, papier-mâché, 3D models, puppets, whatever the heck cool 3D effect carry is. It's such a treat for the eyes. Anyway, the show follows the everyday shenanigans of brothers Gumball and Darwin Watterson, your everyday talking cat and talking fish. The two are somewhat troublemakers and somewhat outcasts, always causing a scene everywhere they go. But they always have good intentions, and at the end of the day, that's what matters most. The show was insanely popular and was one of the few cartoons that helped revive Cartoon Network when it was practically dying, aka the destroy, build, destroy era. Ugh, get that away from me! To put it as short as possible, The Amazing World of Gumball is a pretty big deal, and anything popular in time is bound to be ripped off. And where else would we find a bootlegged ripoff of something we love? Well, none other than in China. Boys and girls, welcome to Miracle Star.
也不想当什么大胃王了。
那就好。
So, yeah, if it wasn't blatantly, lawsuitingly obvious, Miracle Star is a bootleg copy of The Amazing World of Gumball. Like, down to a T.
拜托，求你了吗？我们就要一个。
It's kind of frightening how well they rip this off. But let's talk about it. Believe it or not, Miracle Star is actually a brand of milk or something in China for kids, and these rip-off mascots were used to help promote and sell the milk. Now, the use of the Miracle Star characters and this animation style were simply used just for the commercials at first. And if China only used this Gumball ripoff for one commercial this one time, it would have been okay. It still would have been sleazy and a terrible thing to do, but at least it only would have been once, and could have been a fun piece of media. But then, they started to make episodes. And that's where things got even more not okay. Let's start off with the intro theme song. We all know how Gumball goes, right? It's short, simple, has a flute, and is to the point. It does have a full 30-second version, but it doesn't play that one in America. Now let's listen to the Chinese Miracle Star one.
摘下一颗星星，陪我快快长大。我有最棒的想法。
Oh wow, that's the most terrifying thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Alright, maybe I'm being too harsh. I guess not being able to speak Chinese doesn't help. So let's just check out the episode.
天哪，这热心！那当然，我现在是货真价实的大。
Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't speak Chinese. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Let's just go over to the Miracle Star wiki, I can't believe this is real, and learn about the episode. Alright. Okay, so it turns out that Ni Hao Gumball over here wants to become a big-time eater like his dad, who, oh wow, is also a totally original, not ripped-off character. So it looks like Miracle Star is eating up everything in sight, and ripping off Gumball with, oh come on! Even his friends at school have their bootlegged versions. To be fair though, a majority of them are just food, because Miracle Star's parent company is a food company. And artistically, they're not as impressive or unique, just badly done CGI. The rest of the episode just follows Miracle Star trying to eat a lot and outdo his dad. Kind of like that one time how Darwin and Gumball wanted to outdo their dad in laziness. But I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Miracle Star is such a weird beast. Are they actually trying to make a successful show with lovable characters? Or are they just trying to sell their milk? They put in so much time and effort ripping off Gumball, altering their characters enough to avoid a lawsuit, and create this Miracle Star product. All of this time and energy that would be more beneficial and better off spent being original. Creating original characters with an original style and original concepts. Just
Try and be original.
oh yeah, how could I forget? Episode 167 of The Amazing World of Gumball, released on February 6, 2017. Gumball and his family actually meet the Chinese Miracle Star ripoff characters. With their own spin on them, of course. Gumball and Darwin run into these two familiar faces who are pretty much copying everything that they're doing.
Well, copy this!
The core message of the episode, of course, is to be original. Gumball spends the entire episode trying to get the Miracle Star people to stop copying them and be themselves.
Dagnabbit! We'll never get rid of them!
It doesn't work. All ending with a big musical scene that's pretty awesome. I like how the creators of the show acknowledged their bootleg counterparts and decided to just completely destroy them and point out just how unoriginal and lame they really are. I won't spoil the rest of the episode because it's definitely worth watching once you understand the context behind it. But it basically ends with a, yeah, Chinese bootlegs and ripoffs of all shapes and sizes will never stop. They know what they're doing, they have no shame, they know that they have no shame, and they're okay with it. Probably not the best moral, but what can you do? And that's pretty much the story of Miracle Star, the Chinese Gumball ripoff cartoon trying to sell you Danimals, or a Chinese version of Danimals. I know I don't usually talk about cartoons, but I love them, and if you want me to talk about more cartoons, leave your opinions in the comments of future cartoon topics you'd like me to cover. Later! Hey everyone, this video is brought to you in part by Opinion Outpost, a cool site where you can take surveys on things like TV, movies, video games, almost anything. And the best part about it is that you get paid real money for simply taking these surveys and giving your opinion. Thousands of people have used the site, including myself. It's a great way to earn some extra spending money, and you can sign up for free today using the link in the description. Saturday morning cartoons were one of the most important and anticipated times of my young life. After waking up 5 days in a row early in the morning to go to school and hate everything, it was such a nice feeling to sleep in, have a nice bowl of cereal, turn on the TV, and see all the classics I would keep up with on a weekly basis. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pokemon, Power Rangers, and of course, the subject of today's video, Kirby Right Back At Ya. Kirby Right Back At Ya always stood out to me when compared to all of the other cartoons I watched, simply because it was an animated series based off of a video game series that I loved so much. I was always so hooked and excited for every episode, no matter how bad or uninteresting some of them were. All for the simple reason of, it was Kirby! How could I not automatically love it? So allow me to take you back to my childhood years as we check out Kirby's adorable anime. Kirby Right Back At Ya made its debut on October 6th, 2001, running up until September 27th, 2003. The show had 4 seasons, combining 100 total episodes. That's really impressive. The show was on many channels depending on your country, such as Teletoon in Canada, Pop in the UK, and for Americans like myself, we saw this adorable show where we saw all of our classic Saturday morning cartoons on Fox Kids.
Hey, no damage here. Fox Kids will be right back with more Augie and the Cockroaches.
The amount of memories and nostalgia I have for Fox Kids is almost overwhelming. My mom would record TV shows with our VHS, which I think was illegal, oops. And I would see these commercials and bumpers for the program all the time. This logo melts my heart in so many ways I can't even begin to explain. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's get back to the show. Episode 1. There's a giant tentacle monster attacking, and I immediately fear this is going places I hope it won't. It turns out, however, he's just hungry and wants to eat some sheep. And he does, raining the bones onto the sheep's owner. Oh my gosh, that is so brutal! Who said Kirby was a lighthearted franchise? Apart from me a million times. And as the sheep herder looks on at this giant monster, horrified at the sight of his animal's demise, as well as his possible impending doom, we get the intro.
Kirby, 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 that's a name you should know. Kirby, 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 he's the star of the show.
Well, that was quite the shift in tone, but I'll take it. This theme song is quite the gem. It's got that old school 1950s jazz hands kind of vibe to it. You feel?
Here comes the noise! Give it all that you got. your very best shot.
It's really catchy, and anyone who grew up with the show will join in with you if you start singing the lyrics. This was during a time when anime wasn't that well solidified in American pop culture, so intro songs were constantly changed and remade completely to appeal to us Americans. For example, in Japan, One Piece's intro sounded like... Then, when brought overseas, it became...
Here's how the story goes, we find out about a treasure in the Grand Line, there's no doubt.
Which I genuinely love. After the intro, we're introduced to our main villains, King Dedede and his right-hand... snail, Escargoon.
Little fella wouldn't hurt a fly unless it was on the end of a fish hook.
Oh jeez. So in this show, King Dedede for some reason sounds like a mob boss, or a gangster, which is kinda fitting since that's sort of his role. Throughout the show, we'll see Dedede taking orders from this business schmuck on a TV, representing Nightmare Enterprises, an evil company started up by Nightmare himself, telling Dedede what to do, essentially acting as the company's muscle to do all the dirty work. Like, you know, showing up in a tank to destroy nature and take out a wise sentient tree. Gosh, back to the dark stuff already. Luckily, however, this plan is thwarted when a ship crashes into the tank, causing a commotion. And who else should be in that ship other than our cute protagonist himself, Kirby?
Kirby! Kirby!
Dedede attempts to murder him, but is quickly saved by these two kids.
In case you were wondering, my name's Tiff. Name Tiff. And I'm her brother, Tough.
Aww. This is Tiff, and that's Tough. These two kids quickly befriend Kirby since, well, wouldn't you do the same? We then get some vintage Kirby action. While these kids try to learn more about this sweet puffball, we see him in watermelon fields eating watermelons whole, as well as being invited to a city dinner, while he inhales and consumes everything while the villagers look on in awe. Kirby, though, just doesn't care. He eats their food and then wanders off without a care in the world.
Oh, I knew I should have started eating.
Eventually, that giant octopus comes back looking for more trouble, but this time, the town's got a secret weapon. Kirby! Squidward here shoots fire out of his tentacles, somehow, but oops, this is a Kirby we're dealing with, so he inhales the flames and gains the fire ability. Kirby then has a really spectacular and awesome fight with the beast, until he's eventually slain. Unfortunately though, Kirby's ship is now fixed, and it's time to say goodbye, leaving his new friends. Or does he?
We'll make sure that don't happen. Goodbye for good!
Okay, well, you know what, Dedede, this is your fault. He shoots Kirby out of the sky, his ship breaks, again, but this time, just decides, hey, this planet's pretty cool, I'm gonna stay here.
Kirby!
Kirby Comes to Cappy Town is a really solid first episode and sets the tone perfectly for what the show's gonna be all about. As you might have guessed, Tiff and Tough essentially take on the role as the main characters, with huge air quotes, and essentially become the focus of the show, since, as Tough points out early on, and as we the viewers witnessed with Kirby's lack of speaking ability, Kirby is just a baby. Some might view this as a bad thing, since the show pretty much focuses around Kirby and not specifically on him, but I think this was for the best. If Kirby spoke too much, it would be really weird, and we might have another Link on our hands.
Oh boy, smooching time! Oh, you suck!
This was a choice, however, made by Masahiro Sakurai himself, the creator of Kirby. He had two requests upon the show's creation. One, Kirby would not talk, hence why he was probably written as a baby. And two, there should be no humans. Soji Yoshikawa, the producer of Right Back At Ya, mentioned how difficult it was to create a show where the main protagonist couldn't speak, as well as building a world full of characters with no humans. The end result is a really unique mix of smaller side characters from the games, now given a more prominent role, as well as solid original characters.
I'm Takori, and I'm 100% pro tree, and this gumball's Kirby.
It's an honor to meet a famous tree like you.
Speaking of the visuals, I adore how Kirby Right Back At Ya looks. Its aesthetic is able to capture the same joy and lightheartedness as the games do. Sakurai was heavily involved with the show's production, stating in an interview with Famitsu saying, "I was considerably involved with the production of the anime. The aim was to create an anime that could be enjoyed by children and parents at the same time, just as the games. At first, Kirby began as a game that even a beginner could enjoy. I believe such a spirit was achieved in the anime." And he's right, the anime's tone and feel is very much in line with the games, primarily being upbeat and with a focus of putting a smile on your face, with Kirby's constant need to eat anything and everything in sight, all while looking absolutely innocent and adorable.
Here, Kirby!
There's an episode where the Waddle Dees leave the castle and become servants to everyone in town, essentially becoming like the iPhone, just a product that everyone casually has, all included with a Waddle Dee vending machine.
Now I can stay open 24 hours and still get a good night's sleep.
There's an episode where Kirby eats a Noddy, a creature that infects him with a sleep virus, in which, you guessed it, he can't stop falling asleep. What I'm trying to get at is that the show has a fairly carefree feel. But, just like with the games, the anime can flip that switch, and its tone and mood can feel very tense. Usually when a dark and dangerous threat is looming over our lovable protagonists, or a major fight is about to occur. Oh yeah, the fight scenes! How have I not mentioned them yet? A constant theme throughout the anime are the transformation sequences. Yeah, whenever Kirby is about to get into a fight or save the world in some way, he'll go through these transformation scenes that are unique to each ability, similar to Sailor Moon. Just way cuter. I love these kind of things. Coming from someone who watched Power Rangers religiously, I always get hyped during any kind of transformation from regular old Joe to superhero.
Look out, Rita, we're not backing down, 'cause we're the Power Rangers!
Have I mentioned yet just how colorful and awe-inspiring this anime looks? I think I have, actually. Studio Comet was the head animation department who worked on Right Back At Ya. They've worked on many children's anime during their time, all of which have had adorable, charming art styles, such as Jewel Pets, a show about bunny witches. Japan is so cool. However, when brought to America, the show was licensed by 4Kids.
No, God!
Yeah, their legacy pretty much speaks for themselves. For those who don't know, 4Kids is very infamous for bringing over anime from Japan and unnecessarily making edits to better suit an American audience.
He's made a rubble!
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
Some stuff, however, made sense. Like, for some reason, there were lots of scenes with alcohol and guns. Yeah, here's Kirby defending an armory, and here's him shooting an Uzi like a madman. Who thought this was a good idea? I mean, it's a really funny sight, but still. Obviously, this episode never made it to American programming. But, at the end of the day, Kirby Right Back At Ya serves the same purpose as the Kirby games. To give the viewer a temporary escape from the harsh day-to-day hustle and bustle of reality, into a cute and fun world that you can't help but smile at. Every Saturday morning, my 10-year-old self was glued in front of the TV watching this show. I would be genuinely sad when I missed an episode for whatever reason. Kirby helped relieve any stress my young self was going through, with school, homework, my D- grade average, you name it. And I hope I was able to show you exactly why this anime made me super happy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your favorite cartoon that you like to watch after a long day of school. And like Kirby says, yeah, that. playing quality Pokemon games on your handheld console is overrated. I'd much rather play a rushed, low-quality Flash game on the internet. Oh dang it, that's what we're doing today, isn't it? I was just kidding, by the way. But fine. Microsoft Paint creatures are waiting. Our first stop on this delightful journey, strangely enough, is to the official Pokemon website. Yeah, they have this little section for mini-games, and lo and behold, there's a ton of Pokemon Flash games here. Like Swirlix's Cotton Candy Catch. Now, normally I'd be pretty scared to play this, but this is coming from the official Pokemon website. They wouldn't just put out crap. Would they? How to play. How big can you make your cotton candy? Well, I wasn't expecting to test the boundaries of science today, but here we are. It's, pretty complex, as you can see. This cotton candy machine is out of control and shooting said cotton candy all over the place. And all we have to do is move the cursor in a circle and collect it. Literally, that's it. I like when you lose. It shows how big your cotton candy is compared to a Pokemon. A 7-foot-tall cotton candy. My dreams are finally coming true. This game's called Raichu's Bolt Deflector, and coming from the easiest game I've ever played in Swirlix's Cotton Candy Catch, we now have a fairly challenging and interesting game. So Raichu shoots out electricity and needs to power up this entire facility. For what reason? I don't know. The Pokemon website doesn't give that much lore. However, Raichu is kinda lazy and can only shoot in one direction. That's what makes you beautiful! So we need to move around these directional deflectors, TM, to guide the electricity stream. It's pretty challenging, to be honest, and a good thought-provoking game for kids. Or 20-something-year-old YouTubers. It's genuinely a really addicting game and gets pretty challenging towards the end. Alolan Volcanic Panic. What does that even mean? So in this game, the Alolan region has a volcano that erupts and shoots out colorful rocks. I don't know the scientific term, I got a D- in that class. But regardless, they're coming down with a vengeance and getting ready to wipe out the entire island and kill every cute Pokemon inhabiting it. Oh, okay Nintendo, that's fine. This game's also pretty easy. Just move your cursor over the meteors and shoot them. Game over. All your Pokemon fainted. Well, it looks like Litten only fainted. Rowlet just looks upset. And Poplio, he doesn't care what's going on. Pokemon Go. I'm not joking. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, let's just go with it. Hello there, I am Professor Willow. Sure you are. Space Key. Yada yada yada, this world is inhabited by Pokemon. Will you help me with my research? Well, I want to say no, but I'm sickly curious. Oh my gosh. I'm literally designing my avatar. It's exactly like Pokemon Go! Actually, there's more variety with the hairstyles, so maybe this is better than Pokemon Go. Yeah, I think this suits me. It's like looking in a mirror. Our Pokemon journey is about to begin! I wish it were over already. Okay, let's pick our starter. Charmander, I guess. What is this? Oh, I gotta move my mouse over Charmander and click. Got him! Oh no. Oh no, is he gonna escape? Things are so tense right now. Nice. I got him. Oh my god, I got experience point. Oh, I leveled up even better. This game is amazing. What's this? You want my name? Now? Why didn't you ask me earlier? Alright, whatever. It's Connor. I actually get to move around and explore. What? I guess if you can call this moving. Why am I so slow? Just gotta get to that Pokestop. You can do it! I got 5 Pokeballs. Worth it. Oh wow, there's a Staryu! I'm coming! Eventually. Oh wait, an Eevee popped up? Never mind, I want that! So this is basically Pokemon Go on your computer. Explore this vast world flowing with personality. Click on Pokemon, and click on them again. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. I also stepped away from the game for like 2 minutes so I could get a glass of water, and when I came back, the field was flooded with Bulbasaurs. I don't know what to do. I'm not responsible enough to take care of all of them. Pokemon Tournament. Not Pokken Tournament. No. Pokemon Tournament. So, how is it? Obviously perfect. Why would you even ask such a stupid question? Okay, so let's back things up. Upon starting the game, we're given a character select screen. Pick your Pokemon and battle it out. The only stage is this forest for whatever reason. You have 2 buttons to mess with. A regular attack and a special move attack. The end result? This. But I don't know, something about this is just so charming and funny. I'm always laughing every time I play it. The sound effects are also super high quality considering they're all ripped from the anime, meaning they sometimes have the background music accompanying the Pokemon shouting their names that will then just abruptly end. Have a listen. Conclusion? 11 out of 10. PETA! What a transition that was. An organization dedicated to the ethical treatment of animals. All fine and dandy on the surface. However, PETA has done a lot of not cool things that in turn have taken them out of people's good graces. For example, making games like Cooking Mama, Mama Kills Animals, and Super Tofu Boy. Okay, that's kind of funny. What isn't funny was their pretty popular, and not in a good way, game, Pokemon Black and Blue. Yeah, because seeing cute Pokemon all beat up and bloody is really gonna make kids want to join your side. As battling Pokemon grew in popularity, generations of children were growing up believing that Pokemon exist for no other reasons than to be used and abused by humans. Children learned about dominance instead of compassion. Despite the first ever episode of Pokemon being about Ash selflessly sacrificing himself to protect Pikachu, who didn't even like him in the first place, and all the other times that Ash said goodbye to his Pokemon that wanted to leave and have a happy life, no, that doesn't count. Pokemon is all about animal abuse. You see why no one likes you, PETA? Oh yeah, so the stupid game. You take control of Pikachu and go against what is seemingly the representation of anyone who likes Pokemon. You can use moves like Group Hug, but it's all ineffective because the trainer is an abusive human who tortures animals. They all say dumb things like, Pokemon are not yours to abuse, Sharon. We exist for our own reasons. When in reality, all Pikachu would say is, Pikachu! The Pokemon are all presented as totally helpless, despite making it totally clear that in episode 1, Pikachu could easily kill a 10-year-old boy if he wanted.
Oh, God!
Look at this. It looks like an intentionally bad creepypasta, but PETA wants you to take it seriously. Like, isn't this an awful Pokemon world we live in? So how do we stop violence against Pokemon? Well, obviously with more violence. Cool! Look at that victory screen. Am I supposed to feel happy? Because I don't. Believe it or not, PETA made another Pokemon game. Pokemon Red, White, and Blue. This one dealing with the issue, not of patriotism, but of McDonald's. Because I don't know why, actually. For generations, humans have claimed to love Pokemon. Okay, first things first, Grimace is not a Pokemon. He's not even a food source or an animal. Why is he being lumped in here? He's just a mascot. If anything, he's part of the problem. So the game is the same exact thing as the last one. You battle copyrighted characters like the Mysterious Stranger, and everyone preaches dialogue about the abuse of Pokemon and big corporate McDonald's. I like the representation of the average McDonald's customer. He's got a narwhal on his shirt. And holy shit, Ronald McDonald! He's the final boss and looks really psychotic. I'm scared. I'm on your side now, PETA. We must stop McDonald's. But we can still have chicken nuggets though, right? I mean, come on, there's no way that's real chicken anyway. So yay, we beat the game with the same exact ending. Stay tuned for Pokemon Purple. I promise you I will not. And those were just some weird Pokemon Flash games. Sometimes I play these games and feel like the internet was a mistake, but at least we still have regular Pokemon games to make us happy. I'm hungry. Everyone get in the car! We're getting McDonald's!
Brujitas hasta el fin, brujitas tiernas somos, verás. Ven a disfrutar, magia encontrarás, ven a jugar, serás muy feliz. Atolondradas somos, pero siempre unidas con el corazón. Y ni problemas tienes, estaremos aquí, apoyo tendrás. Si olvidas todo y un examen harás, si te descubren y te sientes muy mal, mamá te escucha, cuéntale todo, te aconsejará. Un conjuro hay, apréndelo bien, pirica, pirica la dirá. Debes repetir, con fuerza otra vez, poderes increíbles tú descubrirás. La magia está aquí, te sorprenderá, junto a tu corazón vivirás. Estamos aquí, juntas hasta el fin, brujitas tiernas somos, verás. ガーネット、ティンクルティンクルマジカルチャーム、ウィンクルウィンクルジュエルフラッシキラキラアイラブガーネット、スイーツ男子サンゴニュ、ウィンクルティンクルマジカルチャーム、ウィンクルウィンクルジュエルフラッシュキラメットファイヤー溢れる友情、ティンクルティンクルマジカルチャーム、ウィンクルウィンクルジュエルフラッシュ宇宙の力ラブラドライト、ティンクルティンクルマジカルチャーム、ウィンクルウィンクルジュエルフラッシュダイアナ、はーい、ときめく誘惑ピンクダイヤモンドミステリアスダイヤモンドフラッシュ。